Hey guys, welcome back to Bixby's Beer Reviews. So excited to have you here with me today. I got another classic favorite beer of mine, one that I've been drinking for a very long time and one that I think is very seasonally appropriate. From Tröegs Independent Brewing up there in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we have Troegenator Doppelbock. Yep, we're not getting a real deep pull from some obscure Pico brewery that you may have ever had. Troegenator, I think, available pretty much year-round, pretty much anywhere east of the Mississippi and possibly further away. Doppelbock is, of course, a German style. Originally comes from, I believe, the Polliner Brewery, and before that, it was something that monks in German monasteries brewed for themselves, usually much lower ABV. Of course, they referred to it then as their liquid bread. Shout out to Fritz the Baker over here. But like I said, it's one of my very, very favorite beers. And to me, no beer speaks to the month of February, to me at least, more than Troegenator. Now, the month of February, it has its charms. It has some nice points, but really, there's a lot of challenges and a lot of struggle, frankly, that can go on this month too. I mean, we're long past the holidays, but the weather, it has not improved. It is still cold out. We need something big. We need something warming. We need just like a blanket to wrap around ourselves here. So this is the beer that I pull out when I got a little bit of the February blues and I need a little bit more sunlight. I need spring to get here. So let's crack it open and see why. Shout out to the Tröegs Brewery up there in Hershey. One of my very favorite breweries that I've ever personally visited. They got a great environment there. They got an actually fun and interesting tour, and they have some very, very wonderful food you can go to. Highly recommend it if you're ever in that portion of the Mid-Atlantic region. Anyways, Doppelbock is, of course, German lager. If you take a look at it, it is a very deep round, but it has quite a reddish tint to it, especially around the edges where the light gets through. You'll also notice it is crystal clear. It has been very well lagered, gives it a very sparkling clarity. A little bit of a head there, but seems very moderate level of carbonation. Again, a beautiful, clear, reddish brown lager. That's what it looks like. Let's go ahead and give it a smell. Just a beautiful showcase of intense malty aromas here. Kind of two aspects of malt that are really played up here and really play well off each other. The first is kind of a baked brown, like dark brown bread. A lot of the bready malt character that you would associate with some of the kind of the lighter, I would say, dark lagers. We had some of the dark Czech lagers that we've tried before, dialed up to 11 here. But it also has a very pronounced sweet malt, kind of a caramelized malt or toffee aroma. And so you get a little bit of, it's almost a little sweet and a little savory, but very rich. And then underneath it, a very, very clean lager character. It has almost the same type of aroma that a lighter Pilsner or a Helles lager sometimes has in the finish, where you can tell that it's clean and crisp and going to be very refreshing for all the big aromas that are up front. So that's what it smells like. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Just beautiful, beautiful, complex malts. I would say that as compared to the aroma, where we got a little bit of the bread and a little bit of the caramel, it's a much more complex and layered bready malt flavor here. I've had some Doppelbocks that can appear to be almost quite sweet. Some even almost have sort of a chocolatey note to it. Here, it's much more of the sort of less highly kilned barley. And it goes in layers. And I think that this is where, again, decoction mashing, which you may remember talking about, which I believe Tröegs does, brings out and sort of stretches out the space between the various malts that are in here and really gives them room to breathe and to show off their complexity. I still do also get some slightly toffee-ish notes, showing off the more caramelized malts that are used here. But at the end, a very clean finish. It's not exactly dry. I don't think that would help the malt flavors, but it's not, for all the malt character, it is not a heavy beer. And although it's 8%, I would say it actually almost plays up boozier in a good way than a lot of higher ABV beers that we've tried. I don't want to say that ABVs have gotten inflated over time, but there's a lot of barrel-aged stuff out there, and I think that 8%, which is about where this is, it used to be a higher ABV. It doesn't really rank that way anymore with all the 8% New England IPAs out there, but To me, this one shows that it's supposed to be a stronger beer by giving you that slightly warming feeling at the end. It plays well off the clean lager character, but it gives you just a hint that this is a bigger beer. This is maybe a celebration beer, or like I say, a beer for cold nights. I think this is one of my very favorite examples, particularly American examples. I mean, you should always try the classic German ones, but of the Doppelbock style, a style that maybe doesn't get quite as much love as some of the other heavy, dark, and barrel-aged beers that are out there now, but one that I think really has a good place, especially during the days when we're waiting for daylight to come back and we're waiting for the sun to come back a little bit more. Also, one of my favorite uses for this beer is actually as a braise for beef stew. I think it shows up really wonderfully there. You may like that use or you may not, but I certainly liked having you here with me to share one of my all-time favorite beers, one of my classic go-tos. Just to show you why I think it's such a special one. So thanks for joining me here today. Look forward to seeing you next time on the BBR. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.